Hey, everybody, it is Jim Johnson, your host here with Contractor Radio with another amazing episode. And this one's like amazing square. This is one of those things that I am uber passionate about whenever it comes to sales, talking to people, being in a crowd, maybe even speaking from a stage. Some of you, I know that that is what you're after. I got a message in my email about a guy that wanted to talk to me. I get a lot of those. And so I have this thing where I always go and research them and see what they're up to. And this guy, wow, amazing. He's written 11 books. He's an Amazon bestseller. He works both with Hebrew and English. It's amazing what he does. This idea of persuading people to buy what it is that you're selling. And there's actually a bit of art to that. I have a feeling we might talk a little bit of the science about it too. We'll see. But I would love to welcome to the show the author of Sales Bible. Like, wow, man, that is pretty cool too. Great title. Yaniv, welcome aboard, man.
Hi Jim, how are you? It's great being here. I listen to your show and I enjoy every chapter, so it's a privilege for me to be here.
Well, I first things first, I want to apologize for not doing what I should have done. I should have gotten all my technology working again. We did this 2-day challenge thing last week with all of my team and my staff, and we had all kinds of video equipment going. They moved everything around on me, and it was my job to put it all back together. And I'm not the guy that usually does that. So thanks for bearing with me and moving over to a different platform for getting this recorded this morning. Appreciate it.
Great. Let's provide value to our viewers and listeners.
That's awesome. So, you need give us a little bit of background. Like I saw that your business has been in business for like 20 years. It's not
Yeah,
something
20
that's
years.
new or anything like that. We've been in business 10 years. I think that's a big deal. So 20 years of doing what you do. Give us a little bit of background and why you went into this arena.
Okay, I'm 46 years old. I live in Israel. I'm married for the second time and I have two great kids. And for the last 20 years, I provide business consulting and lectures on how to improve your public speaking abilities, sales abilities, marketing abilities, presentation abilities, persuasion abilities. And I work with governments, I work with public organizations, with firms, private firms, also contractors, also speakers, also startups. In order to increase their income and build their professional authority. I'm also a lawyer, an economist, and a mediator and realtor, and some other degrees. And as you mentioned, I wrote 11 books, 6 in Hebrew and 5 in English. And the books were translated to many languages. I sold so far more than 300,000 books worldwide, including the United States, Canada, China, Russia, India, the Philippines, Vietnam, and more countries. And I can tell you that I work worldwide and I lecture worldwide. People are people in everywhere, the same problems, business owners, contractors, same problems everywhere, speakers, same problems because our brain works in a certain way, in the subconscious level. So it's the same worldwide. This is why my principles or my theories work each time.
That's pretty, man, I got a lot to unpack there. So let's talk about that. You said people are the same wherever you go. They have the same problems. They have the same issues, the things. So, and you mentioned like business, especially like this idea that we all
Yes.
have the same problems in our businesses. I also noticed that this is what you studied, I believe, in university, right? Like you
Yeah.
studied language. What is it that you see as those common problems that are delineated all across the world?
If you ask people what would you like from life, what do they want, so you get there are researchers about it. 4 answers, not specifically in this order, but love. People would like love and health and wealth, and they would like to be so they would like to be rich. They would like to have money. They would like people to love them, people, spouses, and also friends, and they would like to be happy. Okay, happiness. Wealth, health, love, and happiness. Now, if you look at the education system, I think all over the world, they don't teach us those 4 things. If you go to elementary school, then high school, and then in Israel you go to the army, but in some places you go to straight to the college, and then university. So people teach you a lot of stuff, but they don't teach you how to make money, how to find love, how to maintain the love, how to be a better parent, how to be a better person, etc. So, for example, I study law and in economy in my university. So I learn everything about law. I learn, public law and banking law and everything, except three things: how to speak like a lawyer in court, how to write legal documents, and how to market myself as a private lawyer, And when you go to the market, what you need to do? You need to speak, you need to write, and you need to market yourself. So there is a really big gap between what you need in life and what the formal education system teach you. So this gap is closed by people like you and I. I call it the experts economy, the experts industry. That we teach people their skills, their basic skills, how to do things. Because if you open a business, for example, I study economy, and for 3 years in a good degree in a good university, I never heard the word marketing in economy. Yes, not in geography or something like that. And the word money only brought up when we talked about models from the last century. So you go outside to the world, you go out and you open a business or you start doing something and you're very good at what you do, but you don't know how to market it, you don't know how to talk about yourself, you don't know what is elevator pitch and how to explain about yourself, you don't know how to answer objections and questions from clients, you don't know how to run your numbers, all the stuff you talk about. So basically you don't have the knowledge from the formal education system. It's worldwide, all over the world, almost, to do it. So this is why the markets need people like you and I, because we teach those skills. And this was one of my conclusions all over the years, that nobody teaches you how to do public speaking, for example, how to deliver your message. And this is my mission in life. My mission in life is to help people build their professional authority and grow their business, and become the best business person they can be, and talk better and explain better and sell better. And my basic assumption is that they are good at what they do. Okay, my basic assumption is everyone that hears us now, they are good at what they do. They are good contractors. They have great message. Now let's deliver it to the world.
That's really good. I will admit some of this podcast and having you on my show is a bit selfish. I get to speak often in front of crowds, and they can be anywhere from 10 or 15 people all the way to thousands. I think the biggest group I've ever spoken in front of was about 5,000 people. Are there differences in how you communicate with those different sizes of groups, or is it the same?
Usually there is a stage fright, or people fear big audiences. If we talked about hundreds of people or thousands of people, I will say to most people they will immediately be afraid. And I say no. On the contrary, it's easier to talk to thousands of people than do 15, 20 people. Okay, why? Because if you talk to 15 to 20 people, you see each face. You see when they look at the watch. You see when they leave the room. You see where they are interested in you and where they are not, or when they look at their phone. And immediately you think, oh, maybe it's my bad, my problem. I'm not interesting enough, or something like that. But if you look at a crowd of thousands or hundreds, then you don't see faces. You just see, lots of circles, and you don't actually see the audience. This is why it really helps even singers, for example, people that operates in front of many crowds, and maybe they have a stage fright, but it's better for them. So I always treat a lecture or workshop like a conversation. I say to my clients, a lecture is a conversation, just a conversation with many people. Okay, like you are good at one-on-one, just do it in front of many people. And as long as you gain experience, then you will be better. If you will have the first time, it will be difficult. Second time, it will be easier. And the 10th time will be much easier. And you need all the time to be in emotion, to move forward and to gain the experience. And then life will be better. And if you look at it as a conversation, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be perfect speaker. I always tell my clients, you need to be Batman, not Superman. You know the difference between Batman and Superman, because they both are human beings, okay, and they both look like human beings, and they both are superheroes. But Superman actually came from another planet. So if Superman will have a workshop on how to fly, and I will sit in the first row and write everything, and they will explain to me everything. You go to the roof, you check the weather, you check the wind, do the first step. I will do everything he says, and then I will fall, because I'm not a superhero from another planet. But Batman is an ordinary person who developed a very unique perspective and techniques. So Batman can tell me, I was once like you. Okay, my parents were murdered when I was young, etc. This is my life story, and then I teach myself how to fly, and then I will teach you. So people are more related to Batman, not to Superman. You know, people are more related to people who did the journey. You know, and I also hear you in one of your chapters talking about your journey. You know, the
Yeah.
fact that we are not perfect. You know, this is why people connect. So people need to connect your clients, you know, audience. They need to connect to the person you are, and then they will like your professionalism.
Yeah, I've made all the mistakes that you could possibly make, it seems like, in this whole entire contracting world, which allows me to relate to a lot of what's going on out there for the other folks. And I want them to know that I'm not perfect. I've made all those mistakes. I want to help them not make as many. They're probably still going to make some. It's funny, like you can even like advise people not to make them, and sometimes they will still go and do them just to prove to themselves or gain the experience that, hey, yeah, that doesn't work. Um, I want to go back to what you talked about: love, health, wealth, and happiness, those four things. Do you
Yes.
think, because the first instinct to me was those were wrapped up in one thing, that they're like ultimately after this concept of peace? Is that what you think they might really be after, or am I off base on them?
You can talk about peace of mind. You know, if you're a good in a good economic shape, you have a peace of mind. If you people love and care about you, then you're with peace of mind. You know, the personal, if you're a business owner, you know, personal and business wise, they are connected. You know, if it's good at home, then it's good in your business. If you're a great mentor outside, then you know you're not a good parent, for example, or a good spouse, then you have a problem in life. So I believe in personal development. You need to improve all the aspects in your life. And we're talking about business, but obviously, if you're a business person, a business owner, then you are alone in the top of the pyramid. Then you need to develop yourself as a human being as yourself. And our job is to shorten the learning curve. You know that we say the fact that you talk about the mistakes you've made 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago tells people that they develop the business today to make less mistakes. So I always tell my clients, it took me 20 years to get to where I am. Then I can teach you do it in 3 years, 5 years, not 20 years. Okay. And 2024, we have lots of more options than I had or you had 20 years ago, because 20 years ago there were no Facebook, no YouTube, no
Yeah, there was
newsletters.
there was no YouTubing on how to fix this thing on my truck, right?
Yeah.
None of that kind of stuff, or how to find this piece of information about my business, and that's a bit of the problem I think today sometimes too, is there's so much information, there's so much access to it that I talk about this concept an awful lot, what I call a thin ice society. In other words, we know a little bit about a lot of things, but not a whole lot of depth and understanding about the key things, like those things that are important to you, which for me, I have found them to be leadership and personal growth. Those are the two areas where I spend the majority of my time trying to get that 1% better every day type of perspective. So I'm not out there becoming an engineer or a scientist or building Tesla cars or any of that kind of stuff. I've gotten really focused in that arena because I only have so much capacity in this small little brain that I have for the things that I can learn. Do you see that out there in the world too? Like people trying to be a
Yes.
little too thin on things?
Yes, I agree with you, but I think it's a good advantage for the experts industry and for also for contractors or speakers, because if you have lots of information, you always seek for the expert, you know, because we have so many articles, so many videos. So you look for the persons that they know what they're talking about and they have a certain niche. For example, your podcast is a certain niche for contractors. So people always look for experts, and my definition of expert is very wide. I will give an example. Let's say you go to a restaurant in an area you don't know, and you sit in a restaurant and you don't have much time to eat, and the waitress comes, and what you ask her, what do you recommend, right? Right, automatically, what do you recommend? Now let's think about it for a minute. You don't know her, you know, maybe I'm 46, she's 21 years old. Usually I don't consult with 21 years old, and immediately I turn to a person I don't know and I ask her, you know, a very important decision. What am I going to take into my body now? You know, you will provide me a food inside my body. And I know the waitress also represents the restaurant, not me. Maybe she offers me, the dishes that will soon run out of, of business. So now she offers me it. So why do I ask someone 21 years old that I don't know what to enter into my body? Because in this restaurant, she's the expert, and I don't
Right.
have much time to eat. So I immediately ask her without even thinking, what do you recommend? And I consult with her, because she knows what she's doing now. Usually, most people automatically would like to shorten the learning curve and would like to say, I don't have much time. Please tell me what to do. So if you're talking about contractors, then most people, or speakers, most people, they don't know how to fix things, or how to build the house, or how to build a kitchen, or how to repair something. So if I consider you as an expert, then immediately I am willing to pay you more, and I'm willing to hear you more, to listen to you more, and argue with you less. And I will talk about you more. I will have you will have viral marketing, because after you fix my kitchen, I will be a great ambassador for you for the rest of your life. If I consider you as an expert, I will come back to you again and again and again.
I could not agree more with that concept. And I get that from observation. I'm watching the contractors that begin to grow and do well. It's because they've become experts at a certain thing, possibly in their business. Maybe they're great at this type of roofing or that type of fence work, or maybe they're great at just building culture. They have something that they're really great at that attracts others, and they can also speak from a place of authority with their prospective clients. Whenever I'm in a restaurant, I do the same thing. I just do a little bit different. I always say, hey, this might be my only chance to ever eat here. I don't know what's going to happen to me tomorrow. For somebody like me, and I want them to relate to me, right? I don't want them to relate to their 20-year-old, I like chicken fingers. I want them to relate to me. For somebody like me, what's the most popular dish that you hear ordered and people say they love? And so I want them to like really think a little bit, because I might only have one chance to eat at that place. And I really try to be as cognizant of my need as much as possible whenever I'm doing that, because a lot of times when you ask somebody to recommend something, like you said, it's their own need. It's the how many plates of this do we have left? What is it that I like versus what does somebody that's a 50-year-old guy that comes in here eat, that type of thing. I thought that was really good.
By the way, the marketing principle here is called social proof, because actually what you ask the waitress is, please tell me what everyone likes, and I will decide accordingly. But there is only one catch, because if the waitress from the beginning of the shift, she offers the same dish to everyone, she can tell you, well, most people choose this dish, but obviously they will choose it because this is the dish you recommended all day. So it's the egg and the chicken. It's she can tell you this is the best dish. This is what most people choose, but this is because she offers them it more and more and more.
right. So one of the things I noticed on your website that I wanted to talk about, I mentioned this before we actually even started today. This is the one that I want to dig into, because I think this really applies to our listeners. You're a contractor, you're trying to sell something to somebody else. In most cases, that's really the only way our businesses stay in business, is if we sell something. And there's a comment on your website that says, don't sell your clients, make them buy. And I'm a big, huge proponent of the words that we use. I believe they hold power. I believe it's really important how we put them together. Why that? What do you mean by that?
I define sales into two different kinds. There is hard sale and soft sale. Okay, so hard sale is when I sell to you. I say, okay, this is a product, you need to buy it, you need to pay now, please take it, etc. And then sometimes clients feel that I push too much. I push them, I offer them too much. And in the conscious level, I feel the client feels that okay, he's a salesman. He probably gets a commission from it. He probably needs more money for the business. So obviously he will offers me this. So on the conscious level, hard sale in 2024 is less good, because automatically when I feel people are selling to me, automatically I defend myself. I start saying no, not now. It's too expensive, etc. But soft sale is I don't sell you, I tell you a story, and then you buy. Okay, I create good content. You get my content. You understand I'm good at what I do. You understand I'm expert, and then you offers me, you are the lead, you are the, you connect, you make the contact with me. Okay, there is a mechanism that clients need to go through. It's called know, like, trust, and then buy. Okay, 4 stages. So the first stage is to know. I need to know that you exist. Okay, I need to hear about you. If there are many contractors in my town, I need to know about you, that you even exist before I take my decision. This is the first step. Okay, and then second step is I need to like you. I need to like you, to have a personal chemistry. We're talking about long-term relationship. If if I repair my house, I build my kitchen, I build something. It takes time. I need to be comfortable in my house, etc. So I need to like you. By the way, I can like you even though I didn't met you personally, because I saw your videos, because someone recommended about you, because I saw something you write or say, or something like that. And the third stage is trust. Trust, I need to know that you're an expert, that you provide what you speak, that you walk the talk. Okay, and this I can know through a social proof. Because if I see your diplomas, if I see the numbers of years of expertise, and what other clients, testimonials, etc., this is how I know that you're reliable and expert. So only if you go through stage number 1, that people know you, and then stage number 2, that people like you, and stage number 3, that people trust you, then they will buy from you. And this is soft sale, because I don't need to push myself all the time, and all the time I offer them things. Okay, I pro offering things, yes, but in a soft way, and then the client feels that he chose me, and I didn't press him till he cranked. They chose me, and this is the best way to start a relationship. Afterwards, you prove yourself as an expert, you do a great job, there will be ambassadors for you, they will go back again and again, they will refer to your other clients, etc. And then you can ask them for other clients, or you can be proactive, but they will do it on their own.
First off, you're one of the few people that I have heard that includes the word no, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like KNOW. Most people say that people buy from people they like and trust. That's what you hear an awful lot. Um, and I completely believe that's a fallacy. I think that you may buy from somebody that you like and trust, but if you know them prior to them showing up, or if they can establish that knowing quickly, it makes a big difference in the result of the sale.
Yeah.
So kudos, like I'm on the same page with you on that one. And a lot of that may come from our marketing side of things, right? I believe that ultimately making a sale is a two-sided coin. I've got my marketing team out there doing what they do, or even myself as a marketer, if I'm smaller, to create this knowledge of me. There's actually a really cool um, um, equation for this, and I give it to Rory Vaden, is who I actually heard this from. It is the concept of your reputation, and your reputation is a math equation, a multiplication equation of your results times your reach. And so, yes, I do a lot of great work, but if nobody knows about it, I have zero reputation. Also, brand might be another word you could use in place of reputation, because I think that's what brand really is what people perceive of who we are. And then if I have a lot of reach, in other words, a lot of people are aware of me, but I do crappy work, I'm going to go out of business pretty quickly. But if I have really great work and really great reach, then it becomes this opportunity that now they know me, my marketing has done its job. I'm supposed to go there and be likable. So, what are some of the things that people can do to be likable?
Okay, first of all, this podcast is a great example, because we are having a cooperation right now. You have your own community, I have my own community in different countries, by the way, different areas. And the fact that I'm in your podcast, then your community will get to know me. And if they hear us for an hour, they will also, some of them will like me and trust me that I know what I'm talking about. And then at the end of the interview, or the conversation, I will do a call to action. I will say how to reach me, or I will give them the address of my website. So some of them will go into my website and read more materials, and then they approach me. And the same vice versa, because I will take this conversation and put it inside my YouTube channel and through my community, and they will get to know you. So this is I believe in cooperations, because then two people with everyone has their own community, they get to know one, and then the communities get to know one. Okay, and the second of all is this is first example. The second example is testimonials. What is testimonial actually? If I did a great job for you, you are my client. Now you're happy. This is an achievement, right? But who knows about this achievement? Just two of us, right? Me and you. But now if I ask you to write something about my work, or to take a video, or to write a recommendation in my Facebook page or YouTube page, okay, something like that, then I document the achievement, and then I, let's say, leverage the achievement because more people see the good job I did for you. And then I have another achievement because maybe a better client or richer client comes now and say, okay, what you did for Jim, I would like also to do for me. And then I have another achievement. And then also I document this achievement, and I build like a ladder, of achievements. And each achievement makes me, enables me to leverage it to the next step. So even if you started now and you don't have a large community and you don't have many achievements, start with what you do have, with the little projects you did. Maybe even you did something for free for your friends and family. It's okay. And this is an achievement. You can show pictures of what you did. You can tell stories about what you did. You can write about it. And then more people will come, paying customers, and then better customers, great, bigger customers. And this is how you build the ladder of what you do. And it's okay to start with friends and family, for example, or with the environment that knows you, because if you started as a contractor in, let's say, with 25 years old, you wasn't born now. You have 25 years of experience. You have many circles of life, the college, neighbors, colleagues, etc., that you can start telling them, well, hi, I am a contractor. I can, build your house. I can fix your kitchen, whatever. And if you'd like those services, please let me know. And we talked about the mechanism of know, like, trust. You already have this mechanism with the people who knows you, right? They already know you, they like you, they trust you. That just don't know that you can fix houses, for example. So once you tell them, they can start giving you your first projects. So I
That's,
believe in referrals, and I believe in cooperations very much.
yeah, that's actually a big piece of advice that we give to especially new people coming into this industry, whether they're starting a new business or maybe they're a new salesperson for a business, is to go to your immediate network first. Those people know you, they hopefully like you. And if we give you the training and everything that you need to be seen as an expert, hopefully they'll trust you as well. Um,
Yes.
so those are really important. One of the things I've noticed whenever I'm in that mode, right? Like I'm out doing what I do. In order to get people to like me, first off, I have to just be me, right? Like I got to
Yes.
understand that part of it. Just
Authenticity
be,
is very, very important. Yeah.
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 Don't be fake. Don't be somebody that you're not. But I believe that people really want to be acknowledged or recognized, or that they have value, or there's something special about them. And so we use these concepts using who I am to recognize who they are. For example, if I'm walking up to a house and I see a bunch of kids' toys out in the yard, I know they have kids. So I'm going to ask them about their kids. Having concern for another human being, or even their little human beings that they've created, starts to create some of that likability. Like, oh, that guy acknowledged me. He didn't just come over here and try to sell me something.
Yes,
Um,
this is part of the soft sale, and I think that the first, I agree with you, and I think that the first principle in sales is love your clients. Love your clients. By the way, we talked about speakers. First principle in public speaking: love your audience, because if you love your audience, you will get love back, and if you love your clients, you will get love back. And as we mentioned earlier, it's a long-term relationship. When I do construction for some client, I'm not just here for the short term, not just fixing now the problem. I would like him to remain my client for the next 20, 30 years. I would like him to bring all his friends and family. This is the best case scenario. I would like him to, to give me referrals, to give me a testimonial. Okay, I will have many things to do. I would like to do upsell and cross sell. After I finish the job, to maybe to sell more things that this client needs. So we're talking about long-term relationship, and it's only can happen if they like me, if they trust me, obviously if they know me, and if they had a good experience. And I believe in be authentic. We are in 2024. People have a bullshit radar, or fake radar.
yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
they do. They know when you're being fake. It's just that simple. So only be interested in things that are genuinely interesting to you. Like if you're not into hunting and you show up at somebody's house and they got a bunch of animal heads on the wall, don't like start talking about that because you're not going to have anything you can really relate to with them. And they're going to want to go deeper into that thing. So find the thing that really matches up with you because not everybody's your client. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yes. Yes.
Some people just aren't gonna like you. Unfortunately, I believe we all kind of have our measure of people that like us. And it's interesting that you talked about this because you mentioned something, and I've been working on this little piece of content that I want to do because I know this know, like, trust. You've heard that concept before. And a lot of people leave out the know part, but you mentioned a word there that I've been working on with it, which is know, love, believe. And so that's what that know, like, trust gets you is, hey, we want them to know us. And so we've got to get the word out. They need to be aware of us, understand who we are. I want them to actually love me because I want to love them. I want to treat them as a human being and loving them is the ultimate, right? And
Yeah.
if I do, maybe they'll love me back. And then if I am that expert and I do know what I'm talking about, I can solve their problem, then they start to believe in me as their possible solution. So the sale part becomes actually pretty easy. There is one other thing in there, and I would love to talk with you about this because this is one of those things I'm battling with. Like, I understand all of that, and it seems very outpouring from me to them. But there's this piece in there, and I tend to do it throughout, where I want to make sure that I provide them the right solution. And so we talk about this solution selling methodology where you're asking lots of questions, and then they really kind of tell you what it is that they truly want versus what they thought they want. And then how do you position that thing to make it the thing that fits their particular needs? So somewhere in that know, like, trust, I'm also identifying what their possible solution could be through a lot of question asking and listening, being a really good listener. How do you handle that piece?
Okay, I agree with you. So the principle here is sell the problem before the solution. Before the construction is the solution. The repair, the renovation. But this is the solution. But the problem. What is the problem? Why do I need to repair my kitchen? Why do I need to renovate my house? Okay, what are my needs, or my wife's needs, or my kids' needs? Maybe it's the bigger family. Maybe something is broken. Maybe I would like to. I feel envy with my neighbor. I would like also to do repairments like he did, or something like that. I need to understand why people do what they do, and if I do it, it's easier to sell to them, because if the bigger the problem, the more I'm willing to pay for fixing the problem, or the bigger the need. If you take, flowers, you will take a bouquet of flowers, regular flowers, you can charge $50 for it. But if you call these flowers a bridal bouquet, flowers for the wedding, then you can charge $250, 5 times more.
Tell
But
me about that.
so yeah, the same flowers, right? I got married twice, I know. So the same flowers, what is the difference? The need, because when the bride and groom buy the bridal bouquet, they don't actually buy the flowers. They buy the winning image or the winning picture of a queen for a day. The feeling of $1 million feeling, and the winning picture of 10 years from now. They will sit with their kids and will they look at the photos album and they say, "Oh, look how beautiful mommy was." And 30 years from now, they will sit with their grandkids and say, "Oh, look how beautiful grandmother was," or something like that. This is what I sell them. This is what they buy. So it's not about construction. It's about the construction is the solution. It's about what is the problem that I can fix. What is the answer, the need that I will give an answer. What is the pain that I'm the cure. This is and I don't know the pain unless I question people and I talk to people and I love people. And again, it's not you don't need to be the best public speaker. There is only one Jim Johnson. There is only one Yaniv Zaid. You need to be the best version of yourself. But just being a professional, it's not enough. It's not enough being just professional. You need to be professional as well in sales and marketing and relationships with your clients. And the more you love them, the more you are interested in them, is better for you. And even if I'm going and see that you hunt and I don't hunt, but I'm curious, so I will ask you questions about it and I will let you speak. And obviously people love to talk, people love to feel, like you said, they love to feel special, they love to feel celebrities, they love to feel unique. and most people are not famous, they're not real celebrities. But if I consider them celebrities and I mention their name and I remember the information they provide me last meeting and I'm interested in them, so they enjoy working with me, so will pay me more and they will invite me to their house and they will give me the job and not to my competitors because of these small details that create big results.
Yeah, this is why, a podcast like this, we can share a whole bunch, right? There's a whole. I think this is one of those podcasts that could be, I don't know, a lifetime. Like we could talk forever about all the different nuance and everything that goes on in the sales process and how to master those things. But the biggest thing that I really try to get across to people is this person called you with what they believed was a need or a symptom. Yeah, I like how you related it to kind of being a doctor, right? You have this symptom that says, I need a repair on this thing, whatever it might be. Well, that's great, but let's ask some questions. Let's ask a few questions to figure out why do you believe that this is how things should go with this particular repair when there are other options to that. And I need to ask a bunch of questions to help you solve that problem as well as possible. And I'm pretty forthright about that. I'm like, hey, I want to ask you a bunch of questions because I want to deliver. There's so many options. I don't want to deliver all these options. It just makes it very hard to make a decision. I would like to get it down to 2 or 3 things for you to choose from. So let's find out which ones are the one you want. And so I ask a bunch of questions, and they're mostly not about the products, to be honest with you. Like it could be like, what kind of contractor are you looking for? Have you ever worked with a contractor before? What was that experience like? And I'm looking for that story. I'm looking for them to tell me something about that experience. Most of us, whenever you ask somebody, like, how was your experience with a contractor? Most of us have had a bad experience. That's the one we always remember. We remember the bad ones. We don't always remember the good ones unless they were exceptional. And so they tell you exactly what you need to know. Well, they didn't communicate, they didn't show up on time, they overcharged me, all these different things. And so whenever you actually get to the presentation part or demo part of what you do, you're able to solve those problems specifically, knowing what the issue was for them. They had a problem. Here's the solution to solve that problem. Um, so how does getting somebody to know, like, and trust you make them buy?
Okay, this is where call to action enters. We talked about getting to know you, create a great content. By the way, the most viral content from my experience is 3 things. First of all, stories, success stories or failure stories. Talk about you like you mentioned earlier that you talk about the mistakes you did back in the days. So stories about your resume, success stories or failure stories. This is one. Number 2 is actual stories that happens in the news. For example, there is now COVID. So is this time we're now in a quarantine? Is this good time to fix your house or not? Okay, or there is a depression. Now is this now the time to move a house or not, or to repair the kitchen or to buy a new kitchen or something like that. So address subjects or topics that people already talking about. And the third one is practical tips. Practical tips, for example, if something is broken, how to fix it, or what is the best material you can choose to fix something, or etc. Practical tips. This is how do you get know, like, trust. So when the people get to know you and people like you and people trust you. And now, in order for them to buy, you need to have a call to action. You need to offer them something. So many people, nobody teaches us how to do it, but many people, they have a great meeting with a client and then they explain to the client everything. And maybe the client does everything by himself or turn into their competitors and ask them for a price quote or something like that. But call to action is at the end of every conversation, every podcast, every video, every post, every newsletter. You need to have a call to action. You need to tell people exactly what you need them to do. If it's signed a contract, this is the contract. Let's go over it, and then you sign. If it's make like and share my post, then please share my post. Ask them to share the post. If it's something like leave your details here and we'll get back to you. So leave your details now here. There are research. I also also deal with marketing writing, and I write scripts and I write websites for big companies worldwide. So there are amazing researchers that if, for example, I sell a conference and I have, there is the press button in the landing page. So if I say for more details about the conference, I will have a certain conversion rate, let's say 20%, okay? And if I write for more details about the conference, press here, okay? And then I have 1.2 more, let's say if I have 20%, then I have 24% conversion rate, okay, 4% more. And if I write for more details about the conference, press here now, and I add the exclamation mark, then now we have 28% conversion rate. Now, the same action. Now, people are not stupid. People just follow orders. You told them, click here now. They click here now. Okay, so I say at the end of each conversation, tell people exactly what you need to do. You need to prepare yourself before the meeting. I work with lots of speakers, and I help them write, for example, their lectures. And one of the first questions I ask is, what is the purpose of the lecture? The best case scenario, people will love you. What do you want people to do after the lecture? What is the best case scenario? And most people, they didn't think about it till this moment. As they say, okay, wow, okay, let's talk about it. And I say, no, this is the first question, because you need to prepare all the lecture. You take the beginning, and then you start preparing the lecture according to what you want people to do or to learn at the end. So call to action is a very, very good tool. People maybe are a little bit afraid to offer, or afraid to approach, and they're afraid of objections like it's too pricey for me, or not now, something like that. But you need to offer people, especially if you did the mechanism of know, like, trust, buy, and it's a soft sale, then obviously the client is now interested in you, and people we talked about, they prefer experts, so make the offer, and then more likely to buy.
That's really, you're talking about this concept of the ask, right? So asking somebody for the sale. You've done all this other stuff, and it was wonderful, and then you didn't ask for the sale. They've actually done studies on this, and over large groups of salespeople, and on average, about 43% of the time, we don't ask for the sale. We did all this stuff, and we don't even ask. And I think that's because there's a psychological thing going on there, that there's some fear, right? Like fear of asking somebody for money or whatever it is. I don't ever look at it like I'm asking somebody for money. I'm asking for somebody for an investment. I created some value. You're going to invest in it. You're going to get a return on it. And so I use that term a lot. But I think the thing that they don't practice is the transition. How do you transition from demo of whatever it is that you're doing to the actual sale itself? And so like in contractor sales, it might be something like, other than price or affordability, is there anything that would be standing in our way of getting you on the production schedule today? And knowing that thing and having it practiced, repeated, almost scripted, so that you are very comfortable doing it. And having it doesn't have to be those exact words I just shared, but knowing that you need to transition from demo to asking. And I want to eliminate any other possibility there might be out there. I see a lot of people go, are there any other questions you might have before I can share the investment with you? And I want to get all those objections out of the way to say, okay, I got all the information I need. Now I'm going to weigh the price versus the value that you just shared with me. I think so many people fail right there just because they don't know how to make that transition. Do you see that often in your coaching?
Yes. I also see it, and also the people are afraid of the objections or questions. But I say all the time that objections or questions are part of the conversation. So it's not like we talked a nice conversation and now we start selling stuff, and people will object us, and people will say, well, it's too pricey for me and I don't know what to answer, something like that. So first of all, you need to understand it's part of the conversation. Second of all, it's a good thing, because if people object, then it means that we are now negotiating, or they are hesitating. Now they are sitting on the fence, I call it. So I would like to move it to the other side of the fence to become paying customers. So it's a good thing that they ask me questions, because the opposite is that I will conclude my conversation and say, okay, thank you. Keep in touch, but not too much, So no, it's good.
They're telling you they want it.
They want it. And then we start the negotiation is part of the conversation. And again, we talked about earlier, sell the problem before the solution. So if I focus on the problems and not about the technical aspects of the of the work, then they're more likely buy, because they're not buying my work, they are buying their fix of the fix of their problems. So if my problem is that I would like to brand myself as better, a business person in the neighborhood, so I would like a bigger house or a nicer house, and I envy in my neighbor each time I come home, then this is something emotional. Then it's not about just you make this floor or that floor. It's about something I would like to feel whenever I come to my house. So I'm willing to pay more for this feeling, because I'm not paying paying for the floor, I'm paying for the feeling. So the more information we have on the client, the more likely you can charge them, you can speak with them about the price, and it's not too uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's really good, because we kind of teach this concept of defeating objections before you ever get to the transition. And so you're asking lots of questions to identify possible objections, bring them out in the open, handle them before you ever get to that question of, hey, is there anything else that we need to consider before I share with you the investment for this amazing thing that you're getting? When you get to that part, then it's negotiating. And I thought that was really brilliant of you, by the way, because that's what they're telling you. Now it's negotiation and consideration. So they are actually considering. They're saying, yes, I kind of like what this guy's saying, and now I have an objection because I am now in this mode of trying to get it for the best price I possibly can, or best conditions, the timing of it. There's all kinds of different reasons why people would object. Have you noticed when it comes to objections, that why people may struggle with handling those?
First of all, we said earlier that nobody teaches us how to sell, how to handle money, how to handle business, how to handle relationship. So nobody taught us. It's not like in kindergarten, or high school. We learn about negotiation. So people don't know these basic skills. They can be great contractors, but sometimes if they feel nervous or feel anxious or feel or the economy is not that great, they feel that they don't know how to handle with objections like it's too pricey for me. So immediately they give discount, or immediately they avoid conflict or something like that. But negotiation is two parties trying to get to the best result. And again, if you would like the healthy business or to grow your business, you need to to raise your prices. You need to, if you get good quality of work, then you need to ask for higher prices, and you need to talk about the prices with confidence, and you need to explain why you're worth so much. And we talked about branding. Then if I'm an expert, then people are willing to pay more. So if people feel that they are not experts, or they would like to avoid conflict, then the customer is the king, they will provide the customer whatever he needs, but it's not a good business model, because then, by the way, the more the client pays, is more satisfied. So if I get a discount, usually I expect the client to be, to admire it, to honor me or something like that. But it's usually the opposite. The client will pay less and he will have more complaints, because this is the typical guy. So I will looking for the clients that will pay me more and respect me more, and respect not only my personality, but also my professional demands. Because I'm expert. If you come to a doctor, for example, and the doctor says, well, we need to operate you here and here in the hand, you don't start saying, well, doctor, I also consult with another doctor, Dr. Google, and I think I read an article, and I think you should operate me here and here. Immediately the experts have spoken, and you say yes. So every contractor needs to have the same approach. I'm an expert. I know what to do. I understand your problem. I've been doing it for many years, or many more customers. You let me do my job. I do a great job for you that solves your needs and problems, but this is my fee, and I don't give discounts. This is my fee. I'm a brand. I'm an expert. You don't need to be famous to have a brand mentality.
So let me see if I can wrap this up I think. So if we know that humans are all the same, they're after four very common things: love, health, wealth, and happiness.
Yes.
Then if we can become an expert in what we do, whatever that may be, knowing that thing about human beings, we can get them to know, like, and trust us. And if they do, they'll buy from us. We'll make them buy. Is that a
Yes.
fair
Yes.
understanding of how this gets put
Yes,
together?
they are more likely to buy because, in sales, there is a conversion rate. There is not no scenario with 100% conversion rate or 80% or 60%. But if, for example, today a contractor, before this chapter, he goes to 10 meetings and just 1 out of 10, he gets the job. Now 2 or 3 out of 10 he will get the job. Now his salary is twice more because of some tips that he heard now. So a conversion rate, you always try to be the best version of yourself. You always try to get better and to get your clients better and to understand their problems better. And as long as you do that, then you increase your income.
Yeah, I really like this concept of consistent improvement. So I'm consistent all the time. I'm staying with something, and I'm persevering through all the challenges and the hard stuff, and I'm trying to do it as fast as I can, but I'm not trying to skip steps either. By that consistency, I start to become more known, and so people know who I am. They hopefully start to like me. If they don't, they avoid me, which is great because that's not my client anyway. And if I can actually come across as that expert, they'll likely buy from me. And the more of an expert I become, the more polished I become in my skills as a salesperson, the better I can handle objections and know what those answers are. It takes a lot of practice and consistency in that practice as well. I found, if there's one thing I've learned in the last 10 years, the more consistent I am to being disciplined about an endeavor, the more likely it is to actually happen. We all look for this easy button, right?
And then people say, "Wow, how lucky he is!" But they don't see the lab hours. They don't see the money you spent, and the time you spent, and the energy you spent. For example, this podcast. When you started the podcast, I guess now you have much more listeners or viewers than the first chapter, right? But because the market enjoys persistency, the authenticity. So if you're authentic and persistent, and more chapter, and you get better each time, and you have more crowd each time, and they tell their friends, it's viral marketing. Then at the end of the day, more people like you and trust you as an expert, and you get better, and you decided to have a podcast. So obviously you didn't do it before, but now you are an expert in hosting podcast or even delivering the technical aspects of podcast, right?
I need to be an expert on the technical side just to make sure I don't have to start like we had this morning. But you're right. I already had some awareness of who I was and our coaching and stuff. Because I started the podcast 4 years ago, so I had been coaching for 6 years. So when we first put it out, we got a couple hundred downloads and stuff like that. But now after 4 years, we're getting a couple thousand downloads and people watching on YouTube and sharing it out all over the place and people approaching us to be on our podcast. So I really appreciate that part of it as well. But it didn't happen for those first 6 months or the first year or even first year and a half. But now it's starting to be one of those things where it's pretty consistent in what the results they are that come from it. And that's with anything and everything I think we do in life. So I do have another question because I noticed this whenever I was looking into you. You were in debate. Was that in university or it was in university?
In university, yes.
You finished third in the world?
Yes, fourth in the world. Yes, there is lots of world championships and the European championship. I live in Israel, so we compete in Europe. And I was number 3 in the world in 2002 in the World Championship of Debate in South Africa. It happened. And yes, I also reached the semifinals of European Championship. And also, again, I had hundreds of debates each year. And I developed myself all the time, and I was very good at it. But for me, I love talking, but I wasn't maybe accurate, or structured. So the debate taught me how to be structured. So also I had a good experience with it. And then I opened my business because of the debate, because I understand my mission to help other people talk and how do people sell and how do people market. And I understood that the debate teaches you many, many practical tools that most people, they don't know because they don't participate in debate competitions. But I said, if I will take the principles of the debate and I let's say, identified it to what for the daily day use, okay, then I can teach these principles for every marketer, every constructor, every realtor, every startup. And this is what I do for the last 20 years.
Yeah, so over here in the U.S., there's debate class in high school. I did take it, but it was what we call an elective. You could choose to take it or not, right? I think everybody should have to. I think it should
I
be
agree. I
a required
agree.
class. But that was where it ended. I didn't even know that there was like debate at college. Nobody approached me with it or told me about it or anything. I'm sure there was a debate team or that type of thing. Now, so the next question I have is like, are there debate groups for old people like us?
Yes, the private market offers debate groups. By the way, when I was in college, I debated against Harvard, against Yale in worldwide competitions, against Cambridge and Oxford, etc. It was a great
Wow.
privilege for me as an Israeli to meet this kind of level, and it proved me a lot. So yes, today there are companies that provide debate. First of all, you can have a debate to improve your debate skills one-on-one with people. But there are several debate clubs for grown-ups, for just people who would like to debate the situation, even like you see a political debate, Trump versus Biden or something like that. So they are gathering that they're doing similar debates. And I know that in the United States is very strong the debate. And I recommend everyone to improve their public speaking abilities and debate abilities, because it's not about the debate. It's about our ability to speak better, to organize our message, to speak, to have a maximum message in a minimal time frame, because today people, they have short time to listen to us, so to deliver a speech, your elevator speech, in less than a minute to explain why you and not your competitors, all of these principles are the same in the debate. So obviously I feel, by the way, I have also articles in my website, drpersuasion.com, many articles about debate, about public speaking. You can reach my website and read articles and see videos, and I explain what to do. Obviously, you do too.
That's really awesome. So I have all kinds of questions about presidential debates for you, but I think I'll keep them off. I try to stay away from politics.
Yes.
Although I would say, hey, if you finish third and more, why don't you come over here and run for president? Because I think you could beat them. They're not that good.
So. One of the reasons, as an outsider, one of the reasons that I think you are the biggest and best democracy in the world is because you have free debates for the presidency with prime time on all the channels. Dozens of millions watch it. So it's a great democratic procedure. You don't care what you say about the candidates, but the culture, the ecosystem of the debate in the United States is amazing. So this is why you are the biggest and most strong democracy worldwide.
I agree with you there. I just wish they would be a little bit higher quality. That's one of those things. But they're speaking to their audience too. That's one of those things.
To the base, right?
Yeah,
right.
You're like, hey, I don't really like how they're going about doing what they're doing, but they're going to the mass majority, and I may not be in that group.
Yes.
So that's one of those things I have to be open to and consider, which is a little frustrating.
You don't need everyone to like you in order to be a president or in order to have a successful business. You just need your base,
51%.
a certain base of clients that follow you and refer to you, and talk about you, and you're good to go. You can be a millionaire, even a billionaire. You don't need everyone.
That's a great analogy. I don't have to have everybody like me as a politician, but I do need to have the majority, right? And so if
not even, by the way, not even the majority. If you talk about the election or politicians, then if you take about how many people out of the whole nation need to vote for you, not half of them, not more than half, because many people, they don't vote. So you just need 20%, 30%, 40% tops and of the population, and then you are the head of the country. It's everywhere. It's in Israel as well. So you don't need more than half of the people. You need maybe more than half of the voters, but most people don't vote.
That's what I was going to say, the voters. So they're the buyers. I kind of look at that like they're the buyers. So I need more than half of the buyers. And not even that, really, if I have 3 people running, I need to have the majority of that grouping of buyers to choose me. And then I have market dominance.
Politicians are also salesperson, and they talk. If we're talking about the debate on TV, you talk in sound bites, small phrases, that the newspapers the next day will catch the phrases, and put it in the headline. So it's a different way of sales, but it's also sales.
Pretty awesome conversation today, David. I really. It has just been really cool. I hope everybody was gathering the meat of the content that you were sharing, because it was really good. You said a website earlier. What was that website again?
Yes, website is drpersuasion.com, drpersuasion.com, persuasion, and also you can email me, Yaniv, YANIV, at yanivzaid.com, YANIVZAID.com, Yaniv at yanivzaid.com. This is my private email, and I will answer any question you may have. And and also there is my bestseller book, The 21st Century Sales Bible. It's now in bookstores in the United States and also on Amazon. So feel free to ask for Yaniv Zaid on Amazon or Sales Bible, and you will read the book. As I mentioned, it's also now in India and Russia and Vietnam and Philippines and China. I think my biggest professional achievement is I managed to sell the same book to both Russia and China and India and United States. All four superpowers, very different mentalities, but everyone liked the book. Each publishing house, they do the adaptation to their target audience, but the same book is good for everyone, so it's probably good for you. And every contractor or speaker that hears us and would like to consult with me, please send me an email or reach through my website, and I will be happy to answer any question. It's a great privilege to be here and to hear you and to.
It's been great having you on. We're going to put all of that down in the show notes. We'll put the drpersuasion.com. We'll put your email in there. We'll put a link to your book in there, the 21st Century Sales Bible. Sure. That's a great name, by the way. And congratulations. I mean, getting a book to multiple countries is not an easy thing to do, especially something that translates across different cultures. So congratulations. Well done. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you very much, Jim. It's a great privilege for me, and hopefully you gain lots of value from this conversation.
Awesome. Thank you very much for being here, Yaniv. We will see you in the future.
Thank you very mumuch. It's the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think so too. Hey, everybody. That was Yaniv Zaid from drpersuasion.com. If you want to make your customer buy from you, this might be a guy to follow. And I wouldn't just say might. I think you should. I think you should go to his website, check out his YouTube. He's got a great blog as well. And so go start to learn those things that you need. Become that expert that we talked about, because when you are an expert, people see more value in you and they're more willing to pay more for what it is that you do. The best of the best get paid the best. Thanks for being here on our episode of Contractor Radio. We look forward to seeing you on our next one. Have a great one. And also, by the way, I got to do my thing too. We are contractorcoachpro.com. We have been here for 10 years helping contractors to grow and scale their businesses to achieve their personal financial freedom that they wanted whenever they first started their business. That well-oiled machine, it's a vehicle to allow them to live the lifestyle they want to live. If you want to live that lifestyle, go to our website, contractorcoachpro.com. Click on the button that says assessment. Take the assessment of your business. We will take that information and do a free coaching call with you. We will not charge you anything for it, and it will not be a sales pitch. We will look through that assessment, identify the 2 or 3 things that would help you grow or scale your business the quickest, and we'll do a coaching call about it. If you like coaching and want to work with us, great. That would be wonderful. If not, at least we served you well that day. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Contractor Radio. We'll see you on the next episode.
Oh, you're still here? Well, you must have thought it was great. Make sure to like and subscribe to Contractor Radio and never miss an episode, because we're here to help you get better at what you do.